We see an expert to check up on our health. We see an expert to check up on our car. Why don't we do the same with our finances? Jump online and book a free personal financial health check with Jeff Bowman from Wealth by Design. Knowledge is power. Follow the link on edgeradioaustralia.com. Design a future for you and your children. Wealth by Design.
Wealth by Design here at Edge Radio Australia. The gentleman beside me, just quietly, with the mic still on, said it's about time he retired to pasture. Not a chance in the world, no way in the world. Mate, you would drive your wife crazy, let's be honest.
It's probably a very, very fair...
I think so.
Wisdom beyond your years, Aaron.
Oh, there's a lot of years, that's the problem. It's not really balanced that well, but never mind. Now, the gentleman I'm talking about, of course, is Jeff Bowman, Wealth by Design, mate. Fantastic to see you.
Lovely to be here. Thank you very much, Phil, for that little clap over there. And mate, good to be back. It's a well-worn path to the Edge Radio Mecca here.
We love you here, mate. We do.
And so another fantastic program today, Aaron, because it's around about risk.
Okay.
Oh. And of course, Phil Alderidge from Fuse Technology. Thank you, Phil, for coming in today, making your time available. First, Phil's a big man on risk because he owns a company called Fuse Technology, and cybersecurity is a major problem.
It's a huge issue
globally, and Phil's right onto that because Phil's been a guest before, and his IT company help a lot of clients protect themselves from the evils of cyber criminals. But we want to broaden the subject a bit today, don't we, Phil, on the risks to business and some of the hidden risks that a lot of people really are not aware of, but should be. Is that pretty well what we're going to kick off on today?
Pretty much. We're not actually talking about, how things happen. We're talking about why things happen because people don't realize that there is a potential problem. Nothing's a problem until it actually happens.
True.
A bit like driving a car. You don't know the airbags are going to work. The only time you find out is when you're in a crash.
Yeah, right.
Thankfully, I've never tested them. There you go.
Yeah. I've always wondered how you know they're actually going to work.
Yeah.
But you just have to trust it.
You see,
it's like that with cybersecurity. People go, I'm secure. I'm absolutely secure. Everything's good. How do you know? Has it been tested? No. It's same with medicals. If you haven't been for a medical checkup, you go, I haven't done one for 10 years. I'm not sure I want to get one done because I don't know. Don't want to know the results because I'm too scared of what the results might be because it might cost me a lot to fix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great point, especially as blokes, we do that. Let's be absolutely honest. Yeah, for sure. But I think, obviously, complacency in your business is something you shouldn't have. But we all do. We're human beings. We all think that we're safe. It's always going to happen to someone else.
Yes.
Isn't it? Right?
Yep. I'm too small to become a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just run a small financial planning firm or a small law firm.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think probably 15, maybe 20 years ago, that was probably a fair statement.
Okay.
Things have changed. People got more interested in the smaller firms. If you are a small business with big contracts, you're the entry point to the bigger contract, the bigger firm.
Of course you are. Yeah.
You're part of that supply chain.
Yeah.
So you're actually the biggest risk if you're a lawyer for one of the big firms in town, or you're an accountant for one of the big firms in town. Yeah, they will try and attack you to get access to their information or get access to their systems. And people don't realize that.
Well, they don't. Actually, funny enough, I was just having a conversation about cybersecurity yesterday, and something that I'm really glad you brought that up as far as the point of it's businesses here, because we've got to consider it in one hand for the private person, right, the everyday person, because no one is safe when it comes to cybersecurity, but you need very different products, okay, and different mindsets when it comes to a commercial enterprise. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So in your personal life, you probably, you've got email, you've got your accounts for your Netflix, Amazon, Stan, whatever you've got these accounts for, or your cloud services. And you've probably got a password for those, and you might have multi-factor authentication for all of those. But you don't really have too much there. If somebody hacks into your Netflix account, what's the worst that's going to happen? Yeah, they're going to watch your Netflix for free.
Sure.
Yeah. They might know what you've been watching. Yeah.
They're going to tell, I've got terrible taste. Yeah, that's going to be the problem.
Yeah. Someone getting into your email, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
And you need to be a bit more protective of that.
Sure.
Yeah. But generally speaking, most people don't have too much in their home environment or their personal life that's really secret. Banking, definitely.
Cool.
But then people have, extra things for banking. The banks make you have, tokens and devices and apps on the phone to be able to access. So that's probably managed okay. But in the business world, it's fundamentally different. Yeah. You have all this information, not just on your business, but on potentially lots of other people's businesses. Yeah. Sensitive information that that your clients wouldn't want to be exposed.
Well, you become the gatekeeper, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. And hackers know that. That's why professional services firms are a big target for the hackers, because they go, I'm not really interested in how many staff you as a law firm have or how much you pay your head lawyer, but I want to know you've got those people. I can get access to that information. We can potentially blackmail the board of these people because you're in some sort of problem that no one knows about.
So true.
Lots of issues.
Very good point. So identity theft for people in business, could that be an issue from the point of view of false accounts being set up in the name? I know it's mainly at a private level where people's private information is stolen from their letterbox. And we had a client that was rejecting these what looked like junk mail demands for money, but they built up and up and up and up. In the end, he looked at the paperwork properly, and it was a collections company, a legitimate one from Hawthorne in Melbourne. I remember him bringing it to me, and so he made the call, and they said, "Oh yes, Mr. Jones, we've got our client is suing you via us for we haven't sued you yet, but we're sending you demand letters, and the bill's up to $15,000." And he said, "Oh, who's the client?" And they said, "PayPal." Right. I said, "Oh, okay. Well, I do have a PayPal account, but it's all in check." So long story short was, when he got to the bottom of it, his name, address was stolen from a letterbox. The scamsters hooked up a Hotmail email address to his name and his address. They set up a merchant facility online to sell expensive sporting equipment. People would come in and buy a $200 pair of Nike, and of course they would never get delivered to the customer because it was a sham. The customer demands a refund from Amex because that's how they paid for it, linked in to the merchant that was with PayPal. And this bill was building and building and building because all these people were getting clawbacks on their credit cards, and PayPal, the merchant, was in the name of this client of ours. So it was and he was being hammered for now up to $15,000.
So it's creep up.
Legitimate, collection arrangement, because mysteriously these crooks had set up a merchant facility with PayPal in his name.
Sure.
And the only thing that got him off was he said, "I've never, ever had a Hotmail address in my life." Right. And the people in Canada, the PayPal people, said, "Oh, okay, let's do a bit more checking." And they came back and said, "This is what's happened to you." So I guess in business that could happen too, couldn't it?
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
People think that when you get hacked, your screen suddenly goes, with some message on it to say you've been hacked, you've got problems, pay us millions of dollars. Reality is most of the time you don't know they're there. They've got into one of your accounts. They just sit there waiting, watching what you're doing, and then they'll intercept emails and they'll send out emails to people. We've had it here in WA for land settlements. Where, that you've seen it in the news a few times, probably last year, where someone's received an invoice, paid the amount to the account on the invoice, and then the settlement agent's gone, "So when are you going to pay the amount?" "Oh, I paid it last week." Yeah. And it's gone to a separate account. Yes. And that's how they get their money.
Yeah.
So there's that, and that's a legitimate email coming from that company's email system.
Yes.
It's just not coming from somebody in the organization. It's someone sitting there.
It's so tough to get through this, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've just got to be so unbelievably savvy. Yeah, I had this experience yesterday. I was literally going through, I needed some software, an update on software because good old Microsoft decided they changed the rules. Software I used to own, apparently I don't own anymore.
Don't get me started.
Yes, exactly. So I have to do it. I'm in the middle of a job, so I've got to do it. So I jump online and to go and purchase the software. Anyway, I'm going through the proper channels, and then I'm going, hang on. And I just looked at the top and thought, that address at the top has nothing to do. It just doesn't match the product at all. So I'm looking, is it cloned? Now, it looks so good, but it was clearly, it's fake. Simple as that. Now, had I not looked at the top of the screen, I would have just clicked away, and I would have sent my money elsewhere.
Yep.
It is so easy to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I won a client recently who I'd presented to about 18 months ago. An insurance firm calls me up and they go, we got a problem. We've been hacked.
Okay.
Now, the reality is they'd clicked on an email from one of their clients and that client had been hacked. So he's driving along. No, I won't say he's driving along because you're not allowed to use your phone whilst you're driving. So he pulled over to the side of the road.
Let's make him fancy.
Could have been in a cradle.
Right. He had a driver. Yes, he's driving along with the driver. And looking at the phone, and he's got an email from a client, and he's expecting something from the client. There's a certain amount of urgency in the email. So he goes, right, I'll click on that. And as soon as it happens, he goes, oh, that's not what I was expecting to occur.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, someone's in his systems and they're immediately doing stuff, sending out emails, et cetera, et cetera. And 18 months ago, I spoke to him about doing something. Now I'm doing it. Yeah. But it's a bit too late. I don't like that.
No, exactly. Look, the prevention's the absolute ticket here, isn't it? Yeah.
And I also, on the impersonation side, another client called me and said, we've become aware of a website in, I think it was like Switzerland or the UK, purporting to be our business. So very similar domain name.
Sure.
One is a financial planner. The other was a financial investment platform. And if you scroll down on the financial investment platform website, you get to the legal section, you click on it, and it is a PDF of the ASIC extract of my client's business.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Right.
And he only became aware of it because one of his clients said, oh, is this anything to do with you?
Yep.
I looked up, the company name, and this popped up, and I thought, oh, that must be, is this an investment platform that you're promoting to use now? And so his first port of call was to call me and say, what can we do about this? And I'm like, well, I do your IT, I do your security for you. Everything on that side is good. This is actually nothing to do with what we do for a client, because they, that's a scam. This is all protected. So I said, these are things you can do from a technical perspective. These are things you can do from a legal perspective. Find a lawyer. And these are things you can do from a business perspective. Put up something on your website to say, this is not us. Or, this site isn't ours. Send something out to your clients to say, this is nothing to do with us. There's a list of things you can do. Report it to ASIC, report it to ScamWatch. But that's another kind of impersonation. Yeah,
sure. And this is the moment you need to be proactive, because the damage you can do to your reputation is just massive.
Yes. Yeah. If you don't, people think, what will happen to my business? It's not really about losing the money necessarily. It's the downtime. It's the impact to your clients. If you were a lawyer or an accountant and you had no access to any of your data for 3 weeks, do you still have a business? Yeah. Let's say 1 week, 1 month, 3 months. What point do you go, no longer have a business? It's not that long. Yeah.
And there's very, very nasty stuff around. Like, what about all the bloody, porn and kids porn, all that sort of stuff that is out there? What if a completely innocent person clicked on a link from someone else that was involved in very devious behaviour? I mean, you could be implicated in that.
You see,
and my God, that bloody that mud sticks.
Yeah,
and so absolutely lethal. So, Phil, would you recommend like a major, what of a better word, a checklist of these are the possible risks that you would provide your clients as a bit of a PR thing for them, or a extra service that you would offer?
So we have a cybersecurity questionnaire. It's about 30 to 40 questions. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to do.
Mhm.
Most questions people won't know the answer to. So it's yes, no, don't know.
Mhm.
And the majority of the time, people don't know.
Right.
And if you don't know, that's the problem. If it's yes, great. If it's no, that means you know you're not doing it, and you've accepted that risk.
Sure.
Yeah.
The problem is the don't knows. And half the time people go, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, if you're an owner of a business, right, let's face it, you're obviously looking after the product that's put out by the business. You're looking after the marketing. You're looking after the bookkeeping. You're looking after, you're vacuuming the floor. Like, you've got so many jobs to do.
Yeah.
That cybersecurity is another one. Now, you can, if you're an expert in the field, sure, you can probably have a go at it yourself. But let's be honest, the game is changing so quickly, so often, that to not engage someone who's an expert in the field is bloody dangerous. And it comes down to risk, doesn't it?
Yeah, and what's your appetite for risk?
Yeah.
You know, we all walk through Kings Park and take the risk of being hit by lightning. Yeah, we all jump on aeroplanes and take that risk. Yeah, this is a real risk. And the problem with, you talked on the sort of what's happening with the modern day, with child pornography and all this sort of stuff and deep fakes and, AI is really getting into this.
Right.
And it is just making it so much cheaper and so much faster for a bad actor to do more damage.
Yeah.
And what that means is it doesn't matter how small you are.
Mm-hmm.
If they think there's any potential chance to get something from you, they can run 100,000 tests a minute and try and find someone that's at risk.
Right.
So it's just a case of knowing what your company name is and then having all this programming to go check everything, find the weakness, exploit it. Yeah. Once you've got to a point where they're going to give me money, let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then AI has changed the game. It really has. Yeah.
It's not some spotty little kid in Southeast Asia.
No.
Yeah. Trying to hack your website. That stopped a few years ago.
Yeah.
This is now pretty much organized crime. You've got state actors trying to hack Australia and America and stuff like that. You've got America trying to hack Australia. Let's be realistic about these things. But as a business, we need to be worried about all the people that are out there trying to get our information.
Yeah. Yes. And of course, there's this multi-level, or not multi-level, but layered criminal industry that operates sort of below our fully compliant sort of completely transparent industry that I've already operated all my life. You do the same. This is how it is. You disclose everything, but then there's this highly organised and well-funded parallel criminal community that are quietly there chipping away on the edges, looking at stitching up the good guys.
Phil, answer this for me, mate, if you could. I mean, it seems to me there's a lot of layers. Obviously, there's a lot of layers to this, but there seems to be there's almost like those in the very basic level, like you were saying about, getting a letter, right? And getting the information. They're kind of the bottom of the barrel, if you like. But it seems to go up a chain of selling your information from stage to stage to stage until you get to this level of very highly sophisticated arrangements, which can clean you out, can destroy everything.
Yeah. So I have people that can look in the bad areas of the internet for me to find stuff. If I want to find out what's on the dark web about one of you two, I can ask someone. They can find that information. Yeah. And what they find is quite scary. All the accounts that you've got. Yeah. All the, well, you wouldn't have any compromising photos, but if there were, they would, yeah. Pick my words better. Yeah, I know. All this sort of thing is there. Yeah. All your relationships, and it's all done to go, well, who does he know? And it's probably a little bit like the Epstein thing. Yeah. That's all come out because of all the emails and letters and stuff. And they've got someone going through all of that to say who's associated with who. When does this name pop up? Yeah.
Well, ex-Prime Minister of Australia, 119 counts. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, on that front, even funny if you mentioned that, even on the non sort of, the negative side of this. We've actually been doing a story about the Epstein files here at Edge. So obviously there's research involved and we're going through all of this. And oh my word, the algorithms, the stuff that's being sent my way, because I'm looking at his stuff and also my counterpart is also doing it. We're both researching it together. I can't believe just the nasty stuff that is coming our way because of the algorithms. I can't imagine what it's like on the dark side.
Oh, yeah.
Because Phil, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not just the dark web. There's also the deep web. Is that right? Like there's two levels?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
So the dark web, I have to get this right now, is which way around it is. But the dark web is where your passwords and stuff are, and you can go down and download a username and password, 400 million email addresses and passwords, and you can iterate through those to try and use AI to iterate through them to try and find access to Netflix,
your bank account,
Twitter, whatever, bank accounts, websites and stuff. Further down is where all the bad stuff happens. Okay. That's where you want to get someone taken out. That's where you go.
Okay.
Yeah. You want to blackmail someone. That's where you go.
Okay. Right. I'm so naive.
We try and avoid that area, actually, to be honest.
It's nice to be naive on this one, though.
I'm so naive.
There was a show on TV last night, I think it was, about how they, probably in the UK, I think they infiltrated a criminal organisation. These people all had phones, looked perfectly normal phone.
Sure.
But if you pressed phone, gallery, email, and something else in a certain order, the phone screen changes to the dark area of that phone that gives them access to talking to other people about things, drug dealing and hits and stuff like that. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Not nice, but cool.
The text is cool. Yeah.
Text cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I'll say, we talk about how do people know whether they're secure. And I try and break it down into things that are really easy for people to understand. And I have 3 questions, really simple 3 questions to understand whether you as a business are secure. One, and the trick here is now I have to remember the 3 questions. 1, if you went round your mate's house and you went, I need to send an email. Can I log onto your home computer, your mate's home computer, and access your email? Question number 1. Question number 2, if you decided, I'm just going to go to Bali for a holiday for the weekend, you jump on a plane, last minute thing with your laptop, you land in Bali, you log onto the Wi-Fi in the hotel, you access your email and you send your emails. Okay. That's question 2. Can you do that? Question 3, I want to install a new piece of software.
Right.
Yeah. I've downloaded it from the internet. A mate of mine said it's a good piece of software. I'm going to try it out. Can you just install that on your computer without anyone checking and approving it? If the answer to any of those 3 questions is yes, you are not secure. That's how simple it is.
Hands in the air, I'm not secure. Because you do that. You absolutely do that.
So the flip side of that from our perspective, from Fu's perspective, is I can only log onto my email from this machine and my phone.
Okay.
Nothing else. These are approved devices.
Sure.
Okay. If I go overseas, last minute trip to Bali, I have to call my tech team and say, I'm going to Bali. Can you allow me to log in from Bali? And they go, no, your annual leave hasn't been approved yet, so no, you can't. But yeah, that's the idea. And then they say, yes, you can. I land and I can access my systems.
Because the great convenience of our phone has created, it's opened a Pandora's box, hasn't it, really? I mean, what a door to theft, identity theft, obviously, which is the big one. It's a very risky game because we love convenience. It's so easy. It's
instant gratification has created all sorts of issues.
It really has,
yeah.
And all of those things that I was talking about, you're already paying for. You just haven't configured them.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty much. Most people have the license in place to do all of that already.
Okay. Here's one for you. Spyware, for want of a better name, malware, spyware, that sits on your computer and watches all your keystrokes and picks up your grandmother's, maiden name and this and that and blah, 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 blah. Can sit there for 10 months, compile all the information, and then all of a sudden it's ready to go into your offset account where you've got a $50,000 credit limit and clean your bank account out.
Right.
Is there technology around that can turn your machine into a new machine, make it a faceless machine, so that although you're hitting the keystrokes, any spyware that's there looking at that could see you before can now not see you, like it's a virtual computer. Because someone was in my office the other day explaining this particular technology, and seemed like a bloody good idea. Does that stuff work? Is it around? Is it legit?
So you are still typing on the keyboard on your computer.
Yes.
Your keyboard is attached to the motherboard of your computer.
Yes.
Yeah. So it will, anything that's there can still track what you're typing on your keyboard.
Right.
If you open up a virtual keyboard in the virtual computer and you're using touchscreen, potentially, but this is a little bit like when people say to me, "Oh, no one's looking at me through my camera," because I'd know if they were, because the red light would be on. Yeah. And you're like, well, if you think they can remotely turn on your camera, don't you think they can remotely switch off the little red light to let you know it's on?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't really think like that. Yeah. I'd probably say the better way to do this is to make sure your machine doesn't have malware on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is super simple. Yeah. Little pieces of software that you can buy from an IT vendor.
Yep.
Have it installed on your machine. Anytime you do something dumb, it stops it happening.
Yes.
And the amount of time people do dumb things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think even Microsoft reckons something like 98% of successful attacks are preventable.
Is that right?
Yeah.
98%.
Yeah. Because the majority
That's a lot of dumb people.
Well, 50% of the world's population are below average intelligence, aren't they?
God,
actually,
I'm in that category, sadly.
But also, people of higher intelligence, quite frankly, have an arrogance about it, because I think,
Yeah. But there's also really tricky stuff that can catch smart people off guard. And I was with a self-managed super fund administration company in Melbourne the other day, and this bloke said, "Oh, that crypto platform that you blokes use, my mate should have been on that, because he actually was at the shopping centre buying some, is it grocery store at IGA in Melbourne, and he was in a bit of a hurry, and he was about to pay his bill at the cashier for the groceries to get home. Wife's on the phone, come on, you're running late, rah. And a text message came through, he's about to pay, and it came from a very, very well-known crypto exchange.
Right.
It starts with C, very big one.
Okay.
And the message said, this is the security team from bloody CoinSpot.
From the beginning with C.
Yep.
And so we suspect your account's being compromised. Please hit this button on his phone. And he did that. And then he's driving home, paid the bill, cashier.
Yep.
I hope I didn't do the wrong thing then. He said, went straight onto his computer after he dumped the groceries in the kitchen and went on, and he had $400,000 of Bitcoin and Ethereum hacked off his CoinSpot account. And that all happened because, and he was said to himself, I've got 100, he employs about 150 people. He's got a big operation.
Sure.
And losing 400,000 is actually not going to affect this bloke's life at all. He's very wealthy.
Can we swap lives?
Very wealthy bloke.
Yeah.
But he's so filthy to himself because he teaches cybersecurity. He's blokes like you to run education programs for all of their staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he said, I know I shouldn't have touched that, but you can get caught out.
Yes, because they send it to you at a time of weakness or at a time when
you're vulnerable.
It is, it's time sensitive.
Yes.
You're doing something and something's coming in and you go, oh, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
So it's why they often send emails sort of towards the end of the working day.
Yes.
So, 2:25 in WA, that'll be about, roughly. Oh, I need this now. Can you do it now, please, before you leave for the day? Yeah. Oh, I'm going to miss my bus. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. And then boom, that's when it happens.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's clever.
Yeah.
They're
not stupid.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a questions come in here. It's quite a long one that I just have had up there on the screen. Well, actually, I want to bring it up on the screen. So nice, big, so we can read that. Now, I don't know if you guys can actually discuss this one, or you might have some insight. Hang on. There we go. I might just go back because I think I've jumped the gun. Hang on. Let me.
Is that about the Qantas?
Yep.
The Qantas one?
Qantas one. Sorry, I've got to grab the wrong one there. So there we go. From Dave. Thank you, Dave. You're from New South Wales. Thanks, mate, for your message.
Okay,
I am now
Dave.
receiving apparent emails from Qantas this week trying to reinstate some 240,000 points that were sacrificed due to COVID back in 20. Yeah, I suppose it's 21-22, separate issue. They knew the
communication trail in detail.
Great.
Yep.
Now, he's saying just be aware. Kind of throwing this on you. Is there something that could have been done, or?
Yeah, Qantas could have done something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the point, really, isn't it?
They're the ones that got hacked.
Yeah, true.
It was their back office team in the Philippines, as far as I'm aware, got hacked.
Right.
I'm not sure whether there's a part of their team or whether there's a third party team that they were using. As I understand it, and I could be wrong here, but someone called somebody in the Philippine back office and said, "I'm Qantas technical support.
Yep.
Can you give me access to your machine?" They said yes, and that's how they got into the system. So they have all the details of all the points, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah?
Right.
So what he's getting is probably accurate information, possibly from Qantas, possibly from a hacker. So the only real way to do that is to go onto the website, the Qantas website, look for the support number or the support email, send an email officially to that email address, or call that number and say, "Hey, I've got this email. Is this, how do I get these 240,000 points back?"
Now, on that point, is it better to keep it all in writing, or is it better to make the phone call?
Well, if you've got time, go on the phone.
Okay.
Yeah. And then normally what I do is I will go on the phone, have a conversation, and then I'll ask for their name, what position. They probably won't give you the position, but they might do sometimes. Ask them for their email address or their contact details, and then send an email with details of the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got something in writing that's gone to whoever.
Yeah. I mean, I always like things in writing, but at the same time, when we're talking about the security of the internet here, well, a human voice is a human voice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Dave, for that message, mate. I
Good on
really
you,
appreciate
Dave.
that.
Thank you.
And I've obviously put the follow-up on that one there.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, any sort of last thoughts on this? Anything that you'd really, not the elevator pitch as such, but, issues and comments that should be made that people should be aware of?
Look, I just think unless you've got a trusted network of professional advisors around you, and Phil does his area brilliantly, but we expect to get one of our colleagues on soon who is a commercial lawyer, and she specialises with people with contract risk.
Sure.
What happens if your business partner dies? Are you in business with his wife?
Yeah.
Is there an agreement in place to pay her out so you keep the whole company? That's a risk, right?
Yep.
That's a risk in business, and I think you've got to be prepared to pay, and understand the true value of getting an advice and support team around you.
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head. Value. Okay. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
2 words there: value and trust. I mean, they're absolutely paramount on that one. Yeah.
And you've got to trust all of your service providers implicitly.
Yes.
And you've got to and get perceived value.
Yeah.
I think from my answer to that question really is, unless you can categorically say you are secure, you should assume you are not secure.
Yeah.
And then do something about it.
Right.
Inaction is not really an option these days.
No.
So do something.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Don't sit on your hands.
No. Well, we started this conversation with saying effectively assessing the risk that you're happy with. Well, no one's happy with loss. Okay. No, certainly, apart from the Australian government. Well, that's the whole other story. But got to have a dig whenever.
How long we got?
That's right. And on that bombshell, we'll end the show. Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Thank you for being part of Wealth by Design here on Edge Radio Australia.
We see an expert to check up on our health. We see an expert to check up on our car. Why don't we do the same with our finances? Jump online and book a free personal financial health check with Jeff Bowman from Wealth by Design. Knowledge is power. Follow the link on edgeradioaustralia.com. Design a future for you and your children. Wealth by Design.